I will be talking, is that all right?
Hmm? Hello, this is Dr. Vicky. Today is Wednesday of week 4 of data visualization. First, let me take a moment to thank you for all your hard work this month. You've worked very diligently and very purposefully, completing all of the detailed assignments, whether they were complex or not. I know they were time consuming. Even the discussions entailed using Power BI and the data. So I want to thank you for all of that. The reason was very intentional. I wanted everyone to get the opportunity to get hands on and deep into the Power BI program, not only just surface based, but how to upload the data, how to clean the data, how to add columns, how to make sure everything was okay in the data before you even started making the charts and the visualizations. And I hope you found that beneficial because even though not everyone uses Power BI, most of the systems work in a similar manner. So if you know how to use Power BI, everything else that you try will be similar and will come easy to you. So I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of that. So you do have your discussion board that's due tonight, the initial post. This is the final exercise for the guided learning for the dashboard in a day. I hope you have found that beneficial. I've taken that course and I really enjoyed it. It helped me go from start to finish and put everything together. And the course project, that's the big one. And let me clarify, this just isn't just an assignment. Let me say that again. It's not just an assignment in this course. This is the baseline, the building, the starting of your actual final capstone project that you'll be turning in the second week of month 12. So this is not just an assignment you're going to do and then toss it aside and then move on and keep going and start your capstone somewhere down the line. This is intended to use all the skills that you've learned up till now and the visualizing data to find a data-driven challenge in your chosen publicly traded company and be able to illustrate that challenge in visualizations in Power BI and communicate it. Because if you can get that far right now and then build upon that as you move through the rest of the program, this will be a snap. By the time you go to turn it in, it will almost be done already. But to do that, we need to make some adjustments on what do we mean by data-driven challenge. I'm not sure I'm explaining it exactly correctly because we're still not getting the specifics of the data-driven challenge that we're looking for. Because when we say a data-driven challenge, especially in the program, because the only data that we're sure you have access to are the financial statements. That's why it has to be a publicly traded entity. We are sure that every student has access to an enormous amount of data in the form of the financial statements for each company because it's publicly traded. You can get the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow. You can get all of that. Every student, and to be fair, every student has access to the same amount of information. And you have to be able to use that information to see some type of challenge that your organization is facing. And then once you've identified a challenge, you have to prove there's a challenge. That's the word I want to throw in here. Prove that there's a challenge that needs to be solved by saying what you saw in the data. And what I mean by that, to prove that there is a challenge, I could say, although revenue has increased year over year 10% for the last 4 years, net income has decreased year over year 2% for the last 4 years. The challenge is matching the trend in revenue with the trend in net income. How do we do that? we have to make sure that the expenses in the middle are adjusted daily in real time to flow in lockstep with the revenue. How do we do that? Using data, using business intelligence. We use a business intelligence software or platform. I'm just going to keep saying Power BI because that's what we're using in the course. That's probably not what you'll use for your capstone, but you can. So what would the BI solution be? Using Power BI, the frontline managers will get a daily dashboard of the expenses that they're responsible for and the revenue, so they can adjust the expenses in real time based on whether the revenue is increasing or decreasing to budget. Because if the expenses are a certain percentage of revenue, it should always stay there. Because if it does, the net income is also going to be where it needs to be. Why is that important? That drives the stock price. That drives the shareholders. The people that own stock will sell it off if the net income is not matching the trends of the revenue. So when we say state a data-driven challenge, we're not wanting you to say we need to increase sales. That is not a data-driven challenge. That is wishful thinking. You need to say, using the data as proof, you need to prove it to your audience that there's a challenge. Revenue is increasing, net income is decreasing because the expenses are not being adjusted in real time to match the trends in revenue. To better use the data of the organization, we can use XYZ business intelligence software to provide real-time information. You see where I'm going with that? A data-driven challenge must be proven, supported with facts, with numbers. And in this case, unless you have access to some type of data that we're not aware of for your company, right now that's in the form of the financial statements. Now, when you get into business intelligence in a specific company, you will have access to all types of data. There'll be the data warehouses, everything that's going on. But until you're inside of one of these organizations, you cannot see that data, so we only have the financials to go with. This is a hypothetical. We're not saying you're going to be able to tell what's wrong or right with this company in its totality by looking at these financial statements. We're saying we want you to be able to look at a financial statement, identify a challenge or opportunity, prove it with the data, propose a hypothetical business intelligence solution, including vendor and platform, who it's going to provide the information to, what information is it going to provide, and how's it going to solve the challenge. It really is just that simple. We're dancing all around it and not getting there. I have a student example here that actually shows the level of detail expected. There's a final capstone project right here of a student that did very well. What you need to see right here when I say you need to use actual financial information or data to prove the challenge and actually use that in your challenge statement. Right here is the company financials app and the Fenced On website. Both of these you can put your company, your publicly traded company in them, and it will do the online financial statement analysis for you. What does that mean? It will tell you the things I'm saying. It will say revenue's increasing, expenses are increasing at a higher rate, therefore net income is suffering. It's going to tell you all of those things. So I'm not saying you should know how to do financial analysis, quite the contrary. That's a course in and of itself. I'm giving you the tools right here that will tell you what I'm talking about right now. What I want you to recognize is that you have to actually use the financial results. You have to prove, back up, support, document that there's a challenge with the actual numbers. And you have to compare categories against each other. Revenues increasing or decreasing at a percentage, is net income following the same trend? Because it should. And if it isn't, what category in here is not performing with the revenue that's driving that? I want you to be able to see that. That's all that we're looking for right here. You need to be able to look at data and recognize a problem, and then prove that and put that in your paper. So I hope that clears this up for you. I've also got this little presentation down here that shows you how to do the financial statement analysis, and that's using the free app that I was talking about. And the Vinstanon website, that one takes a few minutes longer because you've actually got to go to the financial statements on Yahoo and input that information into the same chart in the website to run the analysis. Okay, so if you have any trouble with that, let me know. Again, I want to see actual financial analysis, percentages, why there's a problem, proven with the actual numbers. You ready? Let's go.